We keep watching productivity tips like zombies. Increase your productivity to 100%. Productivity desks, apps, music. Oh my god, there's so many hacks. But then why are you watching this video? Because you know that those productivity tips aren't working for you. Because you can't build a skyscraper on a crappy foundation, let's be realistic. So the first thing you need to do is to really understand what comes before productivity, the basic principles, the foundation. Only then the million productivity tips will finally become useful. And I promise you that this video is all you need to be productive. I am Abhi, and if you are new here, I suggest you to subscribe because on this channel, my job is to make you rethink your strategies to become better at work, your studies, increase your knowledge, and become a better person overall. So why am I talking about productivity? Because I've also gone through some similar issues like you guys. I studied to get into an Ivy League, somehow managed to graduate from one, worked in the corporate sector in different countries, and now I'm managing my own startup and passion projects such as this channel. So this has required me to be super productive. Plus my job as a teacher gives me the access to different students of different age groups, and thus I've learned so much about productivity at different levels. Hope you're ready to bust some myths and get the basics of productivity right. After this video, I promise you, your productivity, your mindset, your confidence, your peace of mind will literally soar. Let's start. Number 1, productivity starts the day before. I say this thing on this channel all the time and in my classes every single day. Honestly, there's no point of trying to be productive today. It's already too late. You'll fail and then you'll feel dejected, So what you need to do is think about being productive tomorrow. Plan for it. One simple thing that I do is I go for a short walk the night before with some music in my ears and I go over the next day's plan in my head. This way I can fine tune my schedule of tomorrow so that I have less unexpected stuff to hamper my plan. And believe me, it is the easiest thing that you can do which can literally change everything. It's that mindset that you form. And that's why you need to think about those next 7 steps that I'm going to talk about that night before in that short walk with the music over your ears. Number 2, productivity at 80%. I believe the biggest misconception about productivity is the definition of it. People always talk about being super productive, 100% productive. Tell me this, how many times has this happened that you watch this motivation video or some productivity tips or something online and then you feel like, you know what, I also want to be productive, and then you are for those couple of hours, days, or probably 2 weeks, but after that what? Boom, you're back to your lazy self. Why? In fact, there was a TED talk by Stephen Seller about endurance trainers, and I think it's quite relevant to us here because productivity is not a sprint, it's rather a marathon. I'll repeat, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. In this talk, Stephen Seller mentions about his research in Norway on endurance athletes and how they'll practice a lot but always at a mellow pace instead of pushing it every single time they trained. But why? Because this way they kept injuries at bay and thus they were able to go at it every single day. And only sometimes in a month did they, go full throttle to keep the muscle memory in check. Basically to remember how their body should react in the extreme times, but not every single day. And that's what productivity is. You don't have to be 100% productive every single day. 80% is enough. And you can use that extra energy saved to be at 80% every single day. Remember, consistency is the key. 80% every single day, 365 days a year. And the extra time that you have, you can just take it to have some fun, because that's also a very important element of consistency, and we are going to talk about that in this video later on. Number 3, declutter apps. There are too many apps these days to help you be productive, and isn't it ironical? Too many apps means one more thing for you to remember which app to use for which purpose. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all apps are shit. There are some nice apps like Notion and all. But my formula is very simple. I do not need an extra app for me to be productive because I'm productive at all times, wherever I go in all areas of my life. But my simple rule is to not use an extra app for being productive. At least, for the starters out there. You don't need to buy all the instruments before you start playing one. For me, being productive is a natural state of mind. I'm always the same amount of productive wherever I go in different areas of my life. Because I do not download an extra app for being productive. I use the things that are already there as a part of my life to be productive. So I'll tell you my secret. I use just 2 apps, WhatsApp and Google Calendar for everything. My trick for WhatsApp is very simple. I have 2 accounts, personal and business, and I create chats between them like grocery, personal, YouTube ideas, class discussions, etc. I write a simple chat message. It comes to my business account and I flag them whenever I have to, according to the priorities or according to the types of things that I have to do there. It's a super time saver, less headache, and you don't miss anything. Because for example, something that happens to me many times is just before you're going to sleep, you have some idea. What you can do is just reach out to your phone. You don't even have to switch on the internet. Just write the message between the groups. And anyway, tomorrow you'll get the message. Done, simple. But then I also have Google Calendar, and it has a very specific purpose. Of course, I use it for the school, for my classes and that schedule, and the other important meetings that I have. But apart from that, I use it as a prioritization. So sometimes when there's something that I cannot miss, because now I have a lot of groups on WhatsApp, that goes into my calendar. So for example, one day if my grocery is important thing to do, then I just write grocery, and I see that grocery thing, I go in my WhatsApp, and in my chat anyway, I have all the things that I want to buy. Now for those of you who are really habituated to using apps, I just ask you to re-look at those set of apps that you have, and you know which ones I'm talking about. Chuck some of them out. The minimum, the lesser they are, the better and the more productive you're going to be. Number 4, energy level. Consistency means consistent energy levels, and there are 3 elements here: food, movement, and extras like coffee and all. Now food is a big point, so I'm going to talk about it separately. Movement. Why do you think that so many top CEOs talk about some form of exercising? Because it keeps your energy levels up for the entire day. Plus it releases some endorphins and all sorts of things to make you feel positive. Another important element to be productive. And some amount of exercises are going to help you be healthy and productive for an extended periods of time. And when I said 80% productivity rule, what is that? It gives you that spare time that you can dedicate into healthy living that is going to help you be productive. See? The virtuous cycle. Now, of course, I'm not talking about going to the gym for like 2 hours or do multitask. Just exercise fast. Hit it hard if you feel like, but whatever you do, 1 hour is enough, including your stretching, warm-up and everything. And why do I mention stretching and warm-up? Because you do not want injuries. We are talking about long-term. We're talking about consistency. Now, talking about coffees, it's really cool because I see, and I'm sure you have seen those cool videos of like people making coffee in those, really time-consuming and expensive ways. And having it first thing in the morning as a part of being productive, which is bloody bonkers. Putting coffee first thing in the morning is just so bad. Ask any doctor. It's crazy because coffee should be used in a non-addictive way, because it happens that sometimes your energy level goes down. So you take that coffee at that time. For example, after lunch, the best time to take is after lunch or after a heavy breakfast. You can take a coffee because your energy levels are going to go down. You don't need extra energy when you just woke up. Have a strong tea if you want to dehaze you in the morning. The other thing that you can do is different times of the day. When you want to really drink something, instead of a coffee, drink green tea. It's going to help you be more focused during the day and sleep better during the night. Again, a virtuous cycle. Number 5, task difficulty. The trap here is that we all know that the most difficult jobs are the most important ones. But if you start with the difficult job, you're gone. Because until you finish that long, difficult job, you won't have that tick. And if you don't have that tick, you don't have that feeling of accomplishment. And hence you won't be motivated, and hence you won't have a lot of ticks. So basically, using the Newton's first law of motion, you need to get some momentum before you hit the difficult things in life. And hence you start with the simple things. For example, David Goggins, I'm sure many of you would know him. He has done some inhuman things, but also he says that sometimes he doesn't feel like going for like 20-mile runs. What he does is he just tells his mind, you know what, I'm just gonna go for an easy 2-miler or 5-mile, maybe 5-miler, because for him 5 miles are nothing. But then what happens is, why that 5 mile? Because 5 miles is easy to do. And when he starts doing that, he feels the momentum, and then he can go for 10, 15 or 20. So start with something small, probably first thing in the morning. Do that, get that tick, feel motivated about it, then move to the next one, then move to the next one. And you know what? Think about all of this tonight before you remember that short walk. Think about these things. What can I do first thing in the morning which will just make me feel a little bit better and motivated for the entire day? Like, get that virtuous cycle going. Number 6, food. Let me start by saying I do not cook all my meals, so I'm not the healthiest person out there. I just get some basics correct, and I hope these ideas can help you as well. A large breakfast, it accounts for like 30-40% of the total calories, and I cook it myself and I keep it very, very healthy. I read nutrition facts on everything that I buy. Believe me, you'll notice many things that you buy are pure junk. Balanced meal, simple logic, carbs, proteins and fats in every meal, and some of them should come by vegetables, and just try to vary them. Don't complicate it. The idea is just to be a bit more vigilant and knowledgeable about what you eat. And knowledge is going to move you in the right direction. You don't need to be all OCD about it. Remember, consistency. Point number 7, rest. I for one have learned this thing in the hard way. When you're super tired, you take 2 to 3 times the amount of time to do the same thing. And it's just quite simply smart to be rested enough so that you can do the things faster and better. At the same time, your body's healthy, your mind's sharper, you can be more consistent this way. One thing that comes to mind when we talk about rest is of course sleep. I've talked about it in some detail in one video. Just to tell you, I do not think that 8 hours of sleep is necessary. You can watch the rest there. Number 8, fun. Well, I'm someone realistic, so I know that most of us are not working for our passion, and hence work is not always fun. But still, we have to be more productive in our work so that one day in future we'll be able to work for our passion. But then, should we wait until that day when we will work for our passion project for us to have fun while doing work? No. You just need to change that thought process and do something fun in order to recharge yourself. Now, how can you do that? Definitely you can't do that by going to social media and scrolling through your posts or playing Candy Crush or whatever. No, that's not something which is correct. Now, I'm going to say something very cheesy at this point, okay? So be ready, okay? What I want you to do is to do something really fun that nourishes you. Let's say nourishes your soul or something. I'll give you a couple of options, One can be talking to your friends. And I mean, not like on chats or something. Just fix a call, 5 minutes on the break and just talk to your friend, literally about something random. Or meeting them or meeting someone, for a short coffee break. Or it can be reading books. Or it can be anything that you feel refreshed after doing that activity. And you can also alternate between them. The idea is that when you do these things and you get back to your work, you're not distracted or hazed or even pissed like losing that fucking game. In conclusion, productivity is not about pushing yourself every single day. It's about making every single day quite productive. And yes, you will have to look at various aspects of your life to make it a real marathon. And remember, flexibility is a very important key component of being consistent, because life is never going to be bed of roses all the time and shit will hit the fan every now and then. What will you do then? Be calm and be consistent. Make every single day quite productive without exhausting yourself so that you can also enjoy life a bit and be productive at the same time. Does it sound that bad? That's it for this video, guys. I've put my all to make this video worthwhile, and I hope you'll appreciate that and you'll take this time to share it with your friends and family or anyone who can actually benefit from this. And I hope all of you guys who have actually seen million productivity tips will just think before clicking on another productivity tip. Just get the basics right. You will be productive. You don't have to do something crazy to be productive. It should be a natural state of life. Cheers, guys. Be happy and be productive. Have fun. All at the same time is possible. Okay.